The atmosphere on the set of What Just Happened? With Kevin O'Sullivan was electric, the studio lights casting a stark glow on the sleek desk where the outspoken talk TV host prepared to welcome his guest, Prince Harry. The audience, a mix of royal watchers and curious viewers, buzzed with anticipation, knowing O'Sullivan's reputation for unfiltered commentary and Harry's history of contentious media appearances. Harry, dressed in a crisp blazer and exuding a mix of defiance and unease, took his seat, his eyes scanning the crowd as O'Sullivan launched into his opening monologue, laced with biting remarks about the Sussexes' recent ventures. The interview began cordially enough, with Harry discussing his work with the Invictus Games and his life in California. His voice steady but guarded. O'Sullivan, however, wasted no time steering the conversation toward hotter topics, probing Harry about his legal battles with the Home Office over UK security and his strained ties with the royal family. The audience leaned in, sensing the host's intent to provoke, as Harry's responses grew terser, his smile tightening with each pointed question. O'Sullivan's tone, sharp and mocking, hinted at his past parodies of the prince, including a viral skit where he donned a red wig to lampoon Harry's BBC interview, a jab that had already riled the Duke's supporters. The tension snapped when O'Sullivan, with a smirk, referenced Harry's memoir Spare and its fallout. "So, Harry, you've called your family racists, trashed them in your book, and now you're crying about security? Sounds like you want the crown without the hassle," he said, his words dripping with sarcasm. The audience gasped, some cheering, others murmuring in shock, as Harry's face flushed with anger. "That's a gross misrepresentation, Kevin," he shot back, his voice rising. "I've fought for my family's safety, not for headlines, and you know it." O'Sullivan, undeterred, leaned forward, taunting, "Oh, come on, mate, you've made a career out of playing the victim. Why stop now?" The crowd erupted, split between boos and applause, as Harry's hands clenched into fists. He tried to pivot, mentioning his desire for reconciliation with King Charles and Prince William, but O'Sullivan cut him off, scoffing, "Reconciliation? After you've slagged them off on global TV? Good luck with that." The exchange grew heated, Harry accusing O'Sullivan of twisting his words, while the host doubled down, calling Harry's actions a betrayal of the monarchy. The studio crackled with raw energy, every eye glued to the escalating clash. The breaking point came when O'Sullivan, emboldened by the audience's reaction, took a personal swipe. "Let's be real, Harry, Meghan's got you wrapped around her finger, hasn't she? All this drama started when she showed up," he said, his voice laced with disdain. The audience fell silent, the jab at Meghan crossing an unspoken line. Harry stood abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor, his eyes blazing. "You don't get to talk about my wife like that," he snapped, ripping off his mic. "I'm done with your cheap shots and lies." The crowd roared, some chanting Harry, as he stormed toward the exit, ignoring O'Sullivan's attempt to call him back with a half-hearted, "Oh, don't be so sensitive." Security appeared, ushering Harry off the set as the cameras panned to a flustered O'Sullivan, who tried to salvage the moment with a quip. "Well, looks like the prince can't handle the heat." The show cut to a commercial, but the internet was already ablaze, clips of the confrontation spreading like wildfire on X, with hashtags like #Harry kicked off and #O'Sullivan clash trending globally. Fans praised Harry's defense of Meghan, while critics called him oversensitive, reigniting debates about his media battles. Backstage, pandemonium reigned as producers scrambled to contain the fallout, their phones lighting up with calls from news outlets hungry for details. Harry, flanked by his team, was visibly shaken, pacing a cramped green room as he spoke with Meghan via FaceTime, her voice calming but firm. "I shouldn't have done this," he muttered, his frustration aimed as much at himself as at O'Sullivan. His advisors urged him to see the walkout as a stand against media bullying, citing the host's history of mocking the Sussexes, including a parody video where O'Sullivan twerked in a wig to ridicule Meghan's hospital video. But Harry knew the incident would fuel the narrative of him as the whinging prince, a label O'Sullivan had gleefully pushed on his show. Outside, the studio audience was divided, some chanting support for Harry, others buzzing about his dramatic exit, their phones capturing every moment for social media. X was a battleground, with posts like "Harry just slayed O'Sullivan, protect Meghan at all costs," clashing with others sneering, "Prince Harry can't handle a bit of banter." Typical snowflake. Newsrooms churned out headlines, "Prince Harry kicked off Talk TV after fiery clash," and "Royal meltdown, Harry storms out over Meghan jab." O'Sullivan, no stranger to controversy, faced his own reckoning. In the production booth, his team monitored the social media storm, aware that the clash could boost ratings but also risk alienating viewers who saw his tactics as cruel. Known for his scathing rants, like calling Harry a wimp over his security row, O'Sullivan had misjudged the prince's breaking point, expecting him to weather the jabs as he had in past parodies. When the show resumed, O'Sullivan addressed the audience with a smirk. "Well, folks, I guess Harry's not a fan of tough questions. Let's move on." The crowd laughed, but the moment felt forced, and online, critics pounced, accusing him of punching down for cheap laughs. Talk TV issued a statement defending O'Sullivan's bold style but expressed regret for any offense, a move that did little to quell the backlash. On X, fans of the Sussexes rallied with #boycott_TalkTV, while others praised O'Sullivan's fearless approach, posting clips of his past Harry parodies, like the BBC skit that had gone viral. The incident sparked wider debates about the UK media's obsession with the Sussexes, with some arguing O'Sullivan's provocation was part of a pattern of targeting Meghan to bait Harry. The clash's aftermath rippled through Montecito, where Harry and Meghan strategized their response. Meghan, stung by O'Sullivan's jab, urged Harry to focus on their arch-Ewell projects, but the personal attack lingered, echoing the host's past claims that she whipped Harry into a dead marriage. The couple's supporters saw the walkout as a justified stand, with one ex-post garnering thousands of likes. "Harry's done taking crap from vultures like O'Sullivan, respect." Detractors, however, leaned into O'Sullivan's narrative, with one outlet quoting a royal insider, "Harry's proving he can't handle scrutiny without Meghan pulling the strings." The incident also strained Harry's reported efforts to mend ties with the royal family, with sources suggesting King Charles was disappointed by the public spectacle. Though no official palace comment emerged, for Harry, the clash was a brutal reminder of the media gauntlet he'd fled, yet his exit sent a message: he'd fight for his family, even if it meant walking away. The moment became a lightning rod, amplifying the divide between those who saw him as a victim of media harassment and those who viewed him as a petulant royal unable to take the heat. 3. In the weeks following the clash, the "What Just Happened?" incident became a global talking point, dissected on morning shows, podcasts, and X threads. Harry's walkout was hailed by supporters as a courageous defense of his wife, with fans on platforms like Reddit's r/St. Meghan Markle praising his loyalty, though even there, some questioned his temperament, citing O'Sullivan's claim that Harry had grown from a likable youngster to an unlikable whinging adult. Critics, meanwhile, seized on the narrative O'Sullivan had pushed, painting Harry as oversensitive and entitled, with one tabloid screaming, "Spoiled Harry flees TV set after tough talk." The incident fueled ratings for Talk TV, with O'Sullivan's next episode drawing record viewership, proof that controversy sells. Yet it also sparked backlash, with calls for advertisers to pull support from the show, accusing O'Sullivan of bullying under the guise of journalism. The host leaned into the drama, posting a cryptic X message: "Some can't handle the truth." Onward and upward, the post drew cheers from his base but deepened the Sussexes' supporters' resolve to counter his narrative, with #Justice for Harry trending alongside clips of the clash. O'Sullivan's career, already defined by polarizing takes, faced scrutiny as commentators debated whether he'd gone too far. His past attacks on the Sussexes, like calling them the gruesome twosome and mocking Meghan's finances, were resurfaced, painting a picture of a host obsessed with baiting the couple. Some defended his style, arguing that Harry, as a public figure, should expect tough questions, especially after Spare's explosive revelations. Others saw the clash as a symptom of a broader media culture that thrives on vilifying the Sussexes, with one Guardian op-ed noting, "O'Sullivan's jabs at Meghan were less about Harry and more about feeding a hungry audience's schadenfreude." Talk TV's parent company doubled down, promoting O'Sullivan's fearless brand, but rumors swirled that BBC and ITV were distancing themselves from potential collaborations. Wary of the backlash, O'Sullivan himself remained unapologetic, using his next show to mock Harry's storm off with a skit featuring a ginger wig, further inflaming tensions. The incident also prompted soul-searching among talk show producers, with some, like those behind The Late Show, reflecting on their own near misses with Harry, recalling his 2023 no-show that left fans fuming. For Harry, the clash was both a setback and a rallying cry. Back in California, he and Meghan issued a statement through Arch Ewell, reaffirming their commitment to speaking truth while avoiding direct mention of O'Sullivan. Friends of the couple revealed Harry was gutted but resolute, seeing the incident as proof of the media's vendetta against them. His walkout bolstered his image among younger fans, with a YouGov poll showing a slight uptick in UK support for the Sussexes, particularly among those under 30 who viewed O'Sullivan's tactics as boomer bullying. Internationally, the clash cemented Harry's rebel status, though some U.S. outlets urged him to toughen up for the media game. The incident cast a shadow over his upcoming Invictus Games events, with organizers worried about media focus shifting to the drama. Yet Harry's supporters saw it as a turning point, a moment where he drew a line against personal attacks. The clash also highlighted Meghan's absence from UK media, a strategic choice that spared her direct fire but left Harry as the lightning rod. As the Sussexes navigated the fallout, the incident became a microcosm of their ongoing struggle, a fight for respect in a world eager to tear them down. 4 months later, the Harry-O'Sullivan clash remained a cultural touchstone, a symbol of the fractured relationship between the Sussexes and the British media. O'Sullivan's show continued to thrive, with the host leaning into his provocateur persona, regularly jabbing at the couple in segments that drew both praise and ire. His parody videos, like the one mocking Meghan's twerking, became a staple, though some advertisers quietly pulled back amid boycott threats. Harry, meanwhile, stepped back from UK media appearances, focusing on US platforms like The Kelly Clarkson Show, though even there, a rumored explosive exchange hinted at the challenges of navigating talk shows. The clash's long-term impact on Harry's royal ties was murky, with reports of a shocking move to heal the rift with Charles and William offering transparency on his schedule contradicted by palace sources who called reconciliation remote. The incident also fueled speculation about Meghan's influence, with O'Sullivan's whipped narrative echoing in tabloids, though supporters countered that Harry's loyalty was his strength, not a weakness.